Welcome back to the Recap Central. Today we'll be recapping Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, 2022, directed by Joel Crawford, is a film about a Puss in Boots who has used up all of his lives and is down to one last one, and sets on a quest to grant a wish that will replenish the lost lives. Let's get started. The movie begins with Puss in Boots, played by Antonio Banderas, narrating a story about a shooting star falling from the sky and landing in an unknown location. According to legend, the star holds a single wish, waiting for someone deserving to make it come true. Puss is enjoying his status as a renowned figure, hosting a party at the governor of Del Mar's house and singing a song praising his heroism. When the governor arrives, Puss flees, cleverly outwitting both the governor and his guards. Later, Puss triggers some fireworks, unintentionally awakening the sleeping giant of Del March. He engages in a grand battle with the one-eyed giant as it threatens to destroy the town. Puss uses his intelligence to place a bell around the giant's horns and uses it to render the beast unconscious. Just as Puss and the townspeople celebrate his triumph, the bell falls and crushes Puss. Puss regains consciousness in the office of the town's doctor, portrayed by Anthony Mendez. The doctor delivers the grim news that the bell has brought about his demise, but Puss remains unfazed, confident in the belief that cats possess 9 lives. However, the doctor forces Puss to reflect on his numerous previous deaths in a bullfight, a disastrous poker game, a fall from a ledge, a crushing weight incident, a cannon launch, and an allergic reaction to shellfish, a cookie baking mishap. This means Puss now finds himself down to his final life. Despite the doctor's suggestion that Puss retire from his adventurous life, the cat remains resolute and unconcerned. While seated in a tavern, Puss encounters the enigmatic Big Bad Wolf, portrayed by Wagner Moura. The wolf brandishes 2 scythes, prompting Puss to swiftly draw his sword, only to be disarmed just as swiftly. The wolf proves to be one of Puss's most formidable adversaries, showcasing remarkable speed and managing to wound Puss with his scythe. Fleeing from the encounter, Puss comes to a stark realization: he is genuinely afraid of the wolf, and he has no option but to permanently hang up his boots. Initially, he symbolically buries his boots, hat, and cape as if he were leaving his adventurous life behind. Puss, following the doctor's advice, is welcomed into the care of a woman named Mama Luna, who is a cat enthusiast, portrayed by Divine Joy Randolph. Puss becomes deeply unhappy with his newfound domesticated existence. Meanwhile, Goldilocks, played by Florence Pugh, and the 3 bears Papa, Mama, and Baby Bear, portrayed by Ray Winstone, Olivia Colman, and Samson Kayo, respectively, draw near to Mama Luna's residence. During this time, he encounters a small dog who is pretending to be a cat, played by Harvey Guillen, and Puss affectionately nicknames this unnamed dog Perito. Upon arriving at Mama Luna's place, they forcefully enter and demand information about Puss's whereabouts. Baby Bear picks up Puss, but because Puss has grown a beard and is without his iconic attire, Goldilocks doesn't recognize him. After discovering what they believe to be Puss's grave, they decide to pursue an alternative plan for their mission. Puss eavesdrops on their conversation and learns that they require him for a heist to steal a map leading to the wishing star. Realizing that he can use his wish from the wishing star to reclaim his past lives, Puss decides to re-embrace his heroic persona and take on the mission to retrieve the map himself. Puss infiltrates Big Jack's compound covertly, but he is pursued by Perito, who believes he can assist Puss. This map is currently in the possession of Big Jack Horner, played by John Mulaney. Big Jack is an avid collector of various enchanted items from classic fairy tales. His goal is to use a map to locate the wishing star, granting him ultimate magical power. Puss tries to seize the map, but is interrupted by his former lover, Kitty Softpaws, played by Salma Hayek. A battle ensues between them, as Kitty had initially been recruited by Goldie and the bears for the same mission, but she had planned to betray them and harbored resentment towards Puss for a recent betrayal. Big Jack notices the commotion and goes after them, prompting Puss and Kitty to escape on a carriage driven by Perito to elude Jack's henchmen. Just as the heroes manage to get away, Puss becomes anxious when he believes he sees the wolf lurking in the shadows. Jack gathers the necessary enchanted artifacts to retrieve the map. Meanwhile, Jack assembles his henchmen, known as the Baker's Dozen. Puss, Kitty, and Perito eventually cease their frantic escape and continue their quest for the wishing star by entering the dark forest through a magical portal. They discover that the map can alter the surroundings based on the holder. When Puss and Kitty clutch it, their path becomes treacherous and ominous, while when Perito holds it, the path transforms into a cheerful rainbow-filled realm, owing to his boundless optimism. The feline duo decides to entrust Perito with the map. At that moment, they notice Goldie and the bears closing in on them, compelling them to quicken their pace. During their journey, the trio encounters a challenging obstacle known as Pocket Full of Posies, a field of enormous aggressive flowers that pose a threat to Puss and Kitty. Surprisingly, Perito's interaction with the flowers turns them into his friends, reminding everyone to take a moment to appreciate life's beauty. Goldie, the bears, Jack, and his henchmen also face the same challenge, but their experience is far less fortunate, resulting in casualties among Jack's men and a successful passage for Goldie and the bears. Perito eventually wanders off into a vibrant forest, where he falls into the clutches of Jack and his henchmen. Another confrontation ensues when Goldie and the bears arrive, resulting in the demise of Jack's henchmen when struck by unicorn horns that turn them into confetti. During the chaos, Goldie and the bears manage to steal the trio's map. As Puss continues to run, the environment takes a darker and more ominous turn, and he becomes haunted by the fear of the wolf pursuing him. Perito eventually finds Puss and offers him comfort. Puss confides in Perito, revealing his desperate need for a wish to save his life. He also explains to Perito the reason behind Kitty's anger. He abandoned her at the altar on their wedding day, feeling that his adventurous life left no room for anyone else. Overhearing Puss express regret for hurting her, Kitty decides to extend her help and support him once more. When Goldie examines the map, it leads her and the bears back to the old cottage where they initially found her when she sneaked in. Goldie, who had been an orphan, had never experienced a real family until the bears welcomed her into their lives. They are willing to grant her a wish of her own. Jack uses his remaining henchmen as a makeshift bridge to proceed to the next location, but all except one of them plummet to their deaths while attempting to transport the cart. The cricket realizes Jack's true nature as a terrible person just before he is flicked off Jack's shoulder. Meanwhile, the trio manages to sneak into the cottage, with Puss successfully taking back the map until their presence is discovered once more. In their attempt to escape, Goldie seizes Perito as a hostage while the surroundings keep changing. Puss retrieves the map but becomes trapped inside a massive crystal cave. He shows the map to Kitty so that she can track down Perito while Puss seeks a way out. Perito sits quietly as Goldie and Baby engage in arguments and insults, but he tells them that they are the perfect family he has always longed for. The bears start to grow fond of Perito, but Kitty manages to swipe Perito away and escape. While traversing the cave, he confronts his conceited previous selves and the wolf, who ultimately reveals himself as Death. Initially thought to be a bounty hunter, the hooded wolf seeks personal vengeance against Puss for squandering 8 of his 9 lives. Armed with dual sickles that merge into a double-bladed weapon, he intends to deliver punishment by prematurely ending Puss' last life. Feeling slighted by Puss' disregard for the value of his remaining lives, Death is determined to claim Puss' final life ahead of schedule. Filled with horror, Puss rushes out of the cave toward the star, disregarding pleas from Kitty and Perito to halt. Kitty interprets this as another betrayal by Puss. Goldie and the bears become disoriented while trying to find their way back, resulting in a heated argument where Goldie confesses that her true wish is to have a real family, a human one. This revelation deeply saddens the bears, but Mama promises to help Goldie fulfill her wish if it will make her happy. Puss eventually reaches the location of the star and begins reciting the incantation, "I wish I may, I wish I might," to make his wish. Kitty and Perito arrive, with Kitty mistakenly believing that Puss is betraying her, despite their earlier agreement to share the wish. Puss tries to explain that Death is coming for him just as Goldie, the bears, Jack, and his henchmen arrive. Amid their chaotic struggle for the map, the star begins to rise from the ground, creating a force field that ejects people. The henchman is sucked away, and Baby is nearly pulled up as well, but Goldie sacrifices her chance at the wish to save Baby, realizing that the bears are her true family. Kitty pushes Jack into his bottomless bag to rescue Perito. The wolf returns and encircles Puss with a ring of fire. He mocks Puss for his fear of death and for considering using his wish to evade it. Reflecting on the time he has spent with Kitty and Perito, Puss decides to make his final life count. He grabs his sword and engages in a fierce duel with the wolf. After an intense battle, Puss manages to disarm the wolf, who, although disappointed that Puss didn't take the roguish path of defying death, concedes that they will meet again another time. The wolf departs, but Jack emerges from his bag after devouring the enchanted cookie. He seizes the map and initiates his wish-making process. However, Perito tries to divert his attention with adorable puppy eyes, following Kitty's example. Nonetheless, it serves as a delay tactic for Goldie to hurl Puss and Kitty toward Jack, while the bears join the fray. Puss, Kitty, and Goldie shred the map, causing the star to deteriorate. Jack endeavors to reconstruct the map but is missing a crucial piece held by the cricket, who employs Jack's phoenix to incinerate it, completely obliterating the map. The star undergoes a complete breakdown, engulfing Jack before ascending into the sky and detonating. Goldie and the bears bid farewell to Puss and his companions. Perito decides to retain his name, happy to consider Puss and Kitty as his new family. They sit together, gazing at the stars. A few days later, the governor tries to go on vacation, only to discover that his boat has been stolen, and he identifies the culprits. Puss, Kitty, and Perito embark on new adventures, with Puss mentioning a desire to reconnect with old acquaintances. If you liked this recap, check out our next one. Five Nights at Freddy's 2023, directed by Emma Tammi, is a film about a traumatized man who takes on a security job at a closed-down pizzeria filled with haunted animatronics trying to kill him. See you guys on the next one.